Question A9, decrease 340 by 15%. Now, I'm actually going to do this two different ways. The reason for that is because there's an easy way of doing it, but that easy way probably only works for more straightforward percentages like 15%. And I'm going to do a slightly more sophisticated way that will work for any percentage, even if it was like 17% or 19% or 23%, etc. So the basic way, first of all, is we can find 10%, then find 5%, then because it's a decrease, subtract it away. So 10% of 340, if you divide that by 10, is going to be 34. 5% is going to be half of whatever 10% is, so that's going to be 17. And if you add them together, you'll get your 15%. So 34 add 17, 4 add 7 is 11, put the 1 in, carry the 1, 3 plus 1 plus 1 is 5, so it's 51. So 15% is worth 51, but don't forget we have to decrease 340 by the 15%. So that 15% is worth 51, so we can almost write it there and now read it again, decrease 340 by 51. Don't go thinking that all you got to do is swap the digits around, because 15 swapped around becomes 51. That's just a total coincidence. So don't think that. We've got to actually subtract 51, okay? So 340 subtract 51, because it's a decrease. 0 take away 1 we can't do, so we borrow from the 4, that becomes a 3, and then 1 we borrowed makes that into 10. 10 take away 1 is 9. 3 take away 5 we can't do, so borrow. So the 3 becomes a 2, and then 1 we borrowed makes 13. 13 take away 5 is 8, and 2 take away nothing is 2. So that's 289. Now the other way we're going to do it is by using what's called a multiplier. Now, to cut a long story short, what you've got to do is you've got to pretend the 140 is 100%. The 100% value is your starting value. If you're increasing by a percentage, you add that percentage onto 100. If you're decreasing, you subtract it from 100. So this is what I mean. So if we were increasing by 15%, we would do 100% add 15%, which is 115%. And then you move your decimal point, which is at the end of the number, in 2 places to get what's called the multiplier. 1, 2, so that would be 1.15. So if we were increasing by 15%, we would multiply 340 by 1.15. However, we are decreasing by 15%. The only difference is instead of adding onto 100%, we subtract it off from 100%. So we do 100 subtract 100%, subtract 15%, which basically would leave us with 85% left. We'd have 85% left of what we started with. You move your decimal point in 2 places. So on the end of the 85, 1, 2. So that's going to be 0.85. Obviously stick your 0 in, 0.85, and that means your multiplier is 0.85. And this would then be with a calculator. So you would then start with the original number, 340, and you would times it by 0.85. And if you try that on a calculator, it does give you 289, which is the same as what we got over here. So yeah, it does make sense when you think about it. Decrease by 15% means you're only going to have 85% left, and timesing by 0.85 is going to give you your 85%. Obviously, this method worked nice and easy because it was 15%, but had it been like 28%, that wouldn't have been so straightforward, and it would have been better to use the multiplier then, because decreasing by 28% would be 100, take away 28%, which would leave you with 72% left of what you started with, and your multiplier for that is times by 0.72.